Reese Witherspoon's Hello Sunshine to be sold to Blackstone-backed media company for $900 million. Now that's a crazy amount of money, and let's break it down in this story. So a venture backed by Blackstone Group and led by entertainment executives Kevin Mayer and Tom Staggs has agreed to buy a majority stake in Reese Witherspoon's media company, Hello Sunshine. The terms of the deal weren't disclosed, but a person familiar with the transaction told CNBC's Julia Boorstin it was valued at about $900 million. Now, this is the first acquisition being made by the newly formed company under Mayer and Staggs, who are both former Disney executives. The goal is to build an independent entertainment company for the streaming era. In a battle for subscribers, many streaming services are hungry for new content. Witherspoon and Hello Sunshine CEO Sarah Hardin will continue to oversee its day-to-day operations and will join the yet-to-be-named company's board. Our platform will foster a uniquely creator-friendly culture that gives elite talent the resources they need to create and capitalize on their best, most inventive work. We look forward to backing Reese and their world-class team as they continue to produce and identify dynamic, engaging content for years to come, Mayer and Staggs said in a release. Blackstone will spend about $500 million on buying shares of Hello Sunshine from its current investors, including AT&T and Emerson Collective, according to the Wall Street Journal, which first reported news of the deal, and Witherspoon and some Hello Sunshine executives and investors will retain ownership stakes in the new company. Today, we're taking a huge step forward by partnering with Blackstone, which will enable us to tell even more entertaining, impactful, and illuminating stories about women's lives globally. I couldn't be more excited about what this means for our future, Witherspoon said in a release. Hello Sunshine was founded by Witherspoon in 2016 to create content focused on female voices. Its production includes HBO's Big Little Lies, Hulu's Little Fires Everywhere, and Apple's The Morning Show. So Kevin and Tom and our partners at Blackstone see what we see: women's stories matter, and we have economic power as consumers, creators, and business leaders. Their commitment enables us to double down on our mission and our ambitious growth agenda, Hardin said in a release. Interesting. But here's the thing, right? Like, this type of deal seems extremely favorable to Reese Witherspoon. Now, let's just keep this simple, and let's say that she were to actually get $900 million. Now, she's obviously not really going to get $900 million, most likely after all the, different splits and all that kind of stuff. After everything's said and done, she might make $100 million from this deal. So let's just say that she's going to make $100 million, right? If she makes $100 million after everything's said and done, right? After all expenses and after all taxes, if she were to just pocket straight into her bank account $100 million from this $900 million sale, I think the best route that she should take when it comes to this money is basically in a few different steps, right? And it's very simple steps, right? Number one, completely pay off all of her debt. Every single debt that she has, regardless if people kind of view it as good debt or bad debt. Pay every single debt off. Make sure you have a massive emergency fund in her situation, right? Then just funnel a crazy amount of it into investments, whether it be into different projects, whether it be into apartment complexes, whether it be in just index funds in the stock market or mutual funds, right? She's at the point where selling something like this, she's probably already set for life basically because of her whole acting career. But let's say that she completely screwed up all of her finances up to this point, right? And she has debt. If she were to just get herself out of debt with a massive emergency fund to where she could start putting a massive amount of money towards investments for the generational wealth to basically last forever and ever and ever and ever to continuously grow, That's what she should really focus on nowadays, so that she can focus in her like passion wise on like creating a bigger voice for women, right? Because if that is truly what she's wanting to be 100% focused on, I would get my financial situation in a way where it's very stress free, very cash heavy, and very multiple income coming in per month happy, right? Like if I have like 6 or like 8 different streams of income every single month coming into my bank account, that's basically almost on autopilot that I don't necessarily have to really ever worry about. I could then just 100% focus on what I want to do every single day. And if that's to give women's voices, which is, a pretty cool thing to go and do, I would make sure that I could do that for the rest of my life, regardless of whether or not I make a whole bunch of money or not, right? Now, obviously, you want to grow, you want to make more and more money, just like the natural progression of things, human nature, all that kind of stuff, right? You want to be better every single year. You want to help out more people every single year. You want to give a bigger voice to women every single year, right? So naturally, your income should also be growing as well. But again, that being said, if my main focus is truly building up women's voices, then I want to basically minimize the financial stresses in my life to the point where it's basically non-existent, right? Like you want to set up your finances in a way that you could be singularity focused on my main goal, which is to increase women's voices. So that means no debt, because you don't want to deal with all those crazy payments. That means investing into things like in real estate, but you probably have to hire a property manager if you go that route, so that it could be really hands off, or do more of a index fund investing type of style where you just stick money into like the S&P 500 and then forget it. And you keep doing that automatically without ever really thinking about it, right? So that means, if she has like $100 million after all this, and let's just say she has like $20 million in debt, so $80 million left over, I would like every single month, like clockwork, put in like $10 million into index funds automatically, or like 500 grand per week at the same day. Like every Monday, I'd put like $500,000 in the S&P 500, like clockwork, automatically, without ever really thinking about it. It could be a little bit less to make it like extremely even more passive. But the thing is, with this amount of money, you could really just set up the rest of your life to really not really care about anything, right? And you could just automate everything and not really care, right? Because at this level, right, it doesn't even matter if you just barely beat inflation, as long as it's stress-free and hands-off. Like as long as it saves you time, like as long as you do not have to dedicate your time into like researching when it comes to investing or spending money or dealing with your life like it's a business or something, that would actually be way more worth it to you in the long term, because the amount of time that you could spend more so on building the women's voices is a lot more worthwhile to her, in her mind, I'm assuming, than spending, 10, 12 hours a week looking for like the right investment to get the most amount of returns as possible, right? Just be like, automatically invest and forget. Invest and then forget, and just keep it automatically doing that all the time, nonstop. By the way, if you need help with mastering your money so that you can get out of debt, build an emergency fund, and start investing to live the life that you want to live, and you don't have to make $100 million, go check out 40bucks.com and learn the secret to mastering your money.